back in about 15 minutes, and I think we are about 15 minutes later. So what I'm going to be doing now, I'm just going to collapse the bench quickly. We're going to move that out of the way, and all I've got to do then is cut this oak, getting it ready with my rails and stiles, and later on this afternoon then I can get the domino set up. I've got to get my Makita router set up, I think, as well, or I might get the Festool router out. Yo, how are you, Sam? We're just going to be cutting rails and stiles now, maybe something a bit boring, but I'm just going to set up anyway and crack on with what I got to do. I thought I may as well go live on this, but I will need to skip off because I'll need to do some normal filming as well, obviously, for this video, otherwise I won't have any content for it. So yeah, we're just going to do the rails and stiles. What is that in the... See a bit of light, is it? There we go. Is that a bit better? Yeah, that's better. So anyway, that's what we're doing. I'm just going to get set up quickly for that. I know I said I'd be 15 minutes. What are you doing today then, Sam? Are you in your workshop today? Because I'm sure you've been in your workshop when you've been on some of these lives, haven't you? You normally have me playing in the background, don't I? I'll give it a sec anyway. So as I'm waiting for that, I'm just going to get myself set up. So I'm just going to put these out of the way by here. Don't want to mix everything up. I think I may have done mine. Let's have a look. So I just need to double check that, see what we got. Anyway, right. So all I do with this, like I said earlier on the video, I just collapse my bench. Move these out of the way. I will just lift this off as one. If he wants a budge at it. There we go. A little bit awkward. I can just pop this out of the way now. There we go, look, see? That's all set for there. I'll just move this out of the way. Pop that by there as they're setting up. If I just spin this around, move that to there. There's a fair bit of weight on that. I'm in France for the weekend. Nice, Sam. This is my week off. I've taken the kids up the mountains and everything. We've been doing some lovely trails. We've gone to the fair and everything yesterday. I went up a mountain last night with my other son and the dog. We've been very busy. But I said to the missus, we got all these jobs we got to get through. So I got to come back in the workshop. So I'm going to have about half a days in the workshops. And if the weather does turn nice again, we'll just pop straight back out. We're not going anywhere fancy this year because we've got the house to finish. Hopefully get in the workshop this evening. I was making a CNC sign before I left. Nice, Sam. I haven't had the pleasure of owning a CNC. I think that's a way out of my game mind, I'm not going to lie, because I'm not very good on computers. I'm trying to get my editing better on the videos. It's never very good. I watch all these videos myself and I think, how do they do that? So I'm not computer literate, but I do try. I don't know how hard they are to run a CNC. I would like one, mine, but I don't think I've got the space for one. A mate of mine's got one and he got the little DeWalt router on it. It looks awesome. I have far too many, everything from shaper to smart bench. You have invested thousands then, Sam. I have a shaper owned by Festool because I'm sure I had a paperwork through years ago and it had Festool on there and they were offering a shaper at a discounted price with tutorials on how to use it. I know, they are cool. They are very cool. So I bet you've invested a lot of money then, Sam. It's all worth it in the end, isn't it? So what we're going to do now, it is lovely. So we're just going to set up now. I'm going to get the miter saw set up. So I will tell you my preferred method. I'll just move a couple of these things out of the way because I am rammed in here. I don't know if I did mention earlier, I do own the Festool bench for the miter saw, but I don't use it. Because the Festool miter saw bench, when you actually buy a Festool miter saw bench, it's got a big massive stand with the saw clamps to, and then you've got the little arms that come off, well, the wings, and it takes up a lot of space. I've only got a small van myself, and I find the Festool bench is just too, well, it's up there like I said earlier, it's just way too bulky for me to cart around. So the setup I use is a DeWalt bench. I've had this bench now for 10 years. Alright, It's a simple bench to set up. It takes seconds. If I can just move a few things out of the way, I can get hold of it. But these DeWalt benches are great. And this is the bench I use with my miter saw. It is a lovely bench. But like I said, I've had this bench now for 10 years. And the guy I worked for previous to that, we used to do kitchen fitting, carpentry and everything. He had this bench for 5 years and I worked for him. So I know this bench is way over 15-year-old. Alright, it doesn't break, they do last. Quick and easy to set up. Alright, it doesn't take long. And they take up a lot less space than the fast tool, because obviously if you've got your miter saw connected on the fast tool, it takes up a nice bit of space. So these are easy to set up. Pop this around here. I haven't got a lot of space, mine, so I'll just pop it somewhere around here. Move a couple of bits out of the way. Maybe I should have made the space before I started this video. But I thought, hey, I did say 15 minutes, I will crack on. Right, so I'm just setting the bench up now. I haven't really got a lot of space for it. Grab my saw. Move that out of the way. Quick and easy to set up with these. You just buy the rails that come with the bench. Alright, pop your bench on and clip it in. It's as simple as that. And that's all you do with these setups. They take seconds. Right, let's crack on then. So I'll just make sure I got everything set up for this saw now. I will say I've had this saw now 2018 December. Alright, it is an old saw now, this one. But I don't know if any of you watching this video has got a saw like this. I find this lead it haven't got, I don't know, it's gone very smooth. And it seems to stretch during the summer. And it gets a lot tighter during the winter. Now, I've had the same problem with my fast tool, what's it called? The little sus hoover, the little sus dust extractor. The lead is stretched so much that it's snapping. And I keep cutting it, redoing it, cutting it, redoing it. And I had the same problem on my old fast tool sus hoover. So I don't know if any of you have had that issue with yours. But I think there's a lead problem going on out there. And I think fast tool may need to sort out their leads for that. But this lead certainly feels different. It hasn't got the feel to it anymore, and I think it's stretching. Doesn't feel right to me. But anyway, enough of me complaining about that. It is a 7-year-old saw. Maybe I can get a new lead and get that connected, and then it's all sorted again, isn't it? So yeah, this is the setup I use for my miter saw when I'm on a job, when I'm at work. Alright. I use the DeWalt bench. A couple of these connected. I've also got a Milwaukee M18 saw down there as well. And you can buy these in different sizes. So I've got my Milwaukee saw connected to these. So you can just flip this off, chuck a bigger saw on, job done. It's nice and easy to do. Alright. So all we're going to do is cut a bit of oak on here. It's always wise to get yourself a straight edge as well. I haven't got a long one in here, mind. So I'll just pop this on here. All you do with these benches is just raise these up so you cut them flat. Alright, that's all it is. Make sure you're in line. And that's it. Just clamp these off. And it's as simple as that with this bench. It's a nice, quick, easy setup. It takes seconds to do. 5 minutes later, you're cutting. So let me just connect my dust extractor. I shouldn't have had that on there then, should I? I just hit the metal. But that's what happens when you're on live video. You don't think straight. So all I'm doing with this now, I'll just get my piece of MDF, which I had earlier. Where's that? You know what? I've gone and put my cut list somewhere now. Where is it? I've put my cut list down now and I don't know what I've done with it. I did have it sorted. So just give me 2 secs till I find my cut list. I don't know what I've done with that. Where is it? That's odd. can't believe it. I've gone and put my cut list down somewhere now. Just give me a sec, everyone. I got to find my cut list now. Obviously, as you lot know, when you start a job, you make yourself a cut list. I've gone and placed it somewhere. I did have it on here earlier. Is it on the floor yet? No. Where is that gone? I don't believe it. Give me a sec while I find my cut list. I placed this somewhere. I can't believe it. I think it's grown legs and walked. I'm really looking for my cut list right now. I'm not starting this without that, so I've got to find it. So just give me a sec, everyone. Did I place it by here with this? Let's have a look. No, it's not by there. I can't believe I've done that. Where have I put it? That is crazy. Isn't it crazy when something goes? You can't tell yourself you've lost it, because I know I haven't lost it, but I can't see it anywhere. I don't believe that. Is it down yet? Let's have a look. I'm walking around lost here. I can't find it anywhere. Well, anyway, I made myself a cut list, which I can't find right now. I don't know how I can't find it. Just give me a sec. I can go and have a look in the house. Maybe I've carried it in with me. Do you know what? I can't believe it. I've lost my cut list. So I spent half hour working all that out just to lose it. Right, what's this? Here we go. Right, so. Well, that's funny. I lost it anyway. Right, so I got my cut list. Obviously, if you're making anything yourself, the first thing you do is you try and work out what material you need for starters, and then you'll just make yourself a simple cut list. So you'll work out how many of each things you need, how many items, you'll work out what dimensions they are, because it certainly does speed things up, and you can also not overcut on material as well to save you a lot of money. So the first thing I always do is make myself a simple cut list. I'm following this cut list then, cutting each item as I go along. So I don't overcut, don't make things too small, and I try not to change things as I'm going along. So that's the way I like to do it. I know a lot of you do that on here as well. It saves you a lot of time and hassle, because you don't want to put yourself under pressure. Try and figure out something quick. Go and cut it all wrong, and then you've got to go and buy a load of new material. So I'll always spend half hour. I'll sit down, draw a simple diagram, sizes, dimensions of everything I'm going to do. So this is my first original plan. I know it looks a bit scruffy. This is going to be an oak shaker panel, all right? So we got our stiles and our rails, and I was having a center panel with two oak veneered panels in the middle, because that's going to, it's basically going to mirror what my unit is in the bedroom. And these little legs is what it's all going to stand on. So it's going to be freestanding, all right? And these are going to go all the way down to the floor. So I made a cut list for that. And what I found out today then is I didn't have enough oak. And I didn't want to go machining more oak today. I didn't want to go planing more oak and then ripping it all down on the saws and everything. And then I found the wider veneers that we just done. I found some wider veneers today, which I was happy about. So I've scrapped this center rail now. So all my work is going to be, it's going to be 2 rails, 2 styles, and a center oak panel. And I managed to scrap that middle one. So I worked out, I've actually got enough oak here to do that. So I was happy about that. So I can go ahead now and cut these. And then today, once I've cut all these, then I can go ahead, domino them, cut the groove, obviously, to slide my panels in. All right, we'll get the rebates cut in there today. I don't know how I'm going to go about doing that yet, because I've got a couple of ways of doing that. I can set up the router table maybe, or just freehand router it I do as well. I've got a few methods of doing that. So I don't know what setup I'm going to do there. But I don't know if I can go ahead and do that today, because one of my benches is out of action, as we know, because we've got all the veneers clamped to that. So I might have to get the MFT free out. I don't know if I want to do that, because there's a lot of stuff in front of it, so I doubt I'll do that. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead. I know I'm yabbering on, but these are so important. These are your simple measurements and your cut list. And once you've got all this sorted, you're away to go. You're not going to make mistakes. Sam will tell you on you. This is such an important thing to do. I do preach it in some of my videos. You will hear me preach it. But I know exactly what I'm cutting now. And when I cut to all these dimensions, I know when I put all this together, it's all going to be right. Because I've already figured it out in my head. And I know that's all going to work. So that's what we're going to do now. All it's going to be is a bit of miter saw work. So I'll go ahead and get these cut. I've worked out of the pieces of oak that I have left here, I've got enough to do this. So I got my 4 best pieces by here. 1, 2, 3. Let's have a look. Because one of these is not marked up. See, and we got this one here as well. So they're going to be my main rails. Going all the way down to the floor. And then we got these ones. One of these ain't great. It's this one by here. But luckily enough, no, hang on, what we got? 1, 2, 3 on there, 4, 5, 6. There is one more here. Here he is. This one, look at this. Don't know if you can see that. There it is. It's got a lovely bend in there, right the way through. So with this bit of oak, I'm just going to cut off the 2 ends. I'm hoping it's going to be straight enough. That's the only bit of this project that might stump me. But what I'll do then, I think, if I think it's not straight enough, I'm going to just put it in the steamer and I'll clamp it on the bench overnight and hopefully take the flex out of it. I don't want to be doing any relief cuts on it. I'll try and steam it first. But I like all this. This is me. I love all these pieces on show in the oak. I know it's not oak, it's in the bark. I love all that. So anyway, I'm yapping on a bit. We're just going to crack on now. So those and those are all there. That's my rail pieces. These are my styles. So I'm going to go ahead now and cut on the saw. I'll just square up the cuts, make sure I'm set as well on my saw for starters. Make sure everything's at naught. Check that's a naught. Lovely stuff. We're all plugged in, so I'll just go ahead and cut these now. So have a look, we've got that one there, that there. And these ones, yeah, that's not my best timber there. So I've got all my best bits. Check your cut list. We got 8 of these to cut to 450. It's as simple as that. So that's what we're going to do. Obviously, because I'm doing such a small project, I'm not cutting millions of these. I don't need to set any stops up and so on. So I'm just going to go with a basic tape measure and the pencil job here. That's what I'm going to be doing, cutting these. Nothing fancy, so I will just measure each piece and tick them off. So I got 8 of these to cut at 450. Right, there's 450 by there. Can't get nothing to stop on there. I can slide the saw over and use the stop if I wish, but I'm just going to go freehand on these. There's the cut on this blade. It's not a brand new blade, mind, I'm not going to lie, but she's still cutting lovely. There's a tiny bit of tear out on the back and sides there. But that's where I will keep as my face then. It's not going to be a massive stool. It's going to have a little leg there, and we're going to have a nice shaker panel in there. I won't go on anymore. There's going to be a secret compartment in there, so you'll have to stay tuned and watch the main video. I'm going to get this done this week, and then we're going to get that video posted on the tail end of this week then for you. So I think it's going to be nice, something a bit different. I do love oak, and that's another project for me finished in the house. And that's all I've been doing, see? I'm making something, it's going to be made in oak, and that's it then, it's a lifetime piece. If I want to change tops and things like that on it over the years, then I can. But I don't think shaker's going to get outdated. It seems to be coming back all the time. I do love shaker. So there we go, we got two of them, lovely. There's two. So that's going to be my two sides, that's my rails. Alright, we're going to have two of them. We're going to have our nice veneer panel in the middle. We're going to cut all the way through here and through here later on today, but that might be tomorrow's video, I'm not going to lie. And then we got our little styles here, and that's going to create it. And that's the look of it. It is nice looking oak. There we go, picked this up a while back. Don't know if we've seen them on any previous videos. We actually planed a lot of this down on one of the lives, I think. It is lovely timber. It's a nice colour on it anyway. But yeah, it's just going to go ahead and cut these now. We've got a little bit by there, look, see? This is the joys of our work. We've got a little bit by there. But, do you know what? I will glue that back in there, not a problem. But, and we've got a little bit of snipe on there, look, see? See, we've got all these things to deal with. Oh, who's on ya? Denny's on ya. Hey, Denny, how are you? How is everyone? How are you, Denny? If you're worried about tearing, use a piece of painter's tape at the middle of your cut. Do you know what, Denny? I think I'll try that one out. Let's have a look. Let's try it out. Have you got a channel, Denny? Because you're always giving these top tips away, mind, aren't you? Let's try this. We do see these on the videos, but look at that. See, we got a bit for there. Let's just put a bit of tape on here and see what it's like, is that? So we're just going to put a bit of tape on here now. Denny just said I need to cut this right at the end. So we're going to cut that up here. Put a bit of this tape all around the perimeter. This is only cheap Amazon tape, this is. They tried saying it was like frog tape, but it's nothing like frog tape. It's awful stuff. Right, so let's go ahead and cut this now and see what it does. Let's peel the tape off. Let's have a look. Do you know what, Denny? I think this is absolutely awesome. I'm good, Denny, thanks. I know you haven't seen me a lot on YouTube recently. But you know what, Denny? That is pretty good. Tiny bit through the bottom. But that could be due to my blade. Let me try and show you. I don't know if you can see it on camera. There's no zoom on you, see? No, we haven't got zoom, see? You've got to zoom in automatic. But I think we've got a bit of a light issue coming through the window as well on this. Cut in the middle of the tape. Yeah, just cheap masking tape. Alright then, yeah. I can't really cut in the middle just yet because I haven't got a lot of stock left. I've only got a little tiny bit to the end. This is what I worked them out for, see? Right, so anyway, that's that one. Yeah, that does cut nice, Danny. That was looking good. So we'll just mark that up now. I do like that method. We're going to be around this area here. So we'll go ahead now and put a bit of tape on there. It does save a lot of pain, doesn't it? This is going to be going straight through a knot, this one, by the looks of it. But I do like all this on timber. I know a lot of people hate it. There we go. So we got that now. carry on with my cut list. That's my face, so I've got to keep an eye on where my face is. This will be bang on in the centre of this now, Danny. Mark that up. We'll go ahead and cut this now. We'll have a look at each cut. Here's this one. Yeah, I know. I do need to change this blade, mind, Danny, I'm not going to lie. Alright, it is due a blade change on this saw. I thought I had one resharpened, but I haven't. I was going to change it for this video, actually. Do you know what? That's a beautiful cut. There we go. Obviously, we got a bit of burning, but there where we sent through the saws. There we are. That's looking nice, that. Thank you for that tip, Danny. That's awesome. So there's another one cut for there. You are right, mind, Danny. The thing is, you spend a lot of money on this material. You spend a lot of time planing it down. And right at the end, you go and put it on your miter saw and it all blows out and it's ruined. So you are correct. There's no harm in spending 5 seconds of your life taping it up, is there? And then you can get something nice out of it then. So there we are. The timber's looking nice. This ain't the best piece. Look at that. We cut straight through that bit. But I'm going to try, I'm going to definitely tape this up by here because I'm going to wood glue that back and that'll look perfect then. So let's just measure this one now for cutting. I think we may get rid of that bad bit, mind. Let's have a look. We've got 450. It looks like we are going to hit a little bit of it. I'll put a bit of tape around there now. At least I found a use for this tape now, Danny. So we have got a use for this masking Amazon tape. This fake frog tape. Whoop. Let's just pop that around there now. There we go. Lovely stuff. Let's mark this up for cutting. I quite like this method. It is nice. 450 is the measurement. Let me lay this nice and flat. 450, spin him around because I like to do it this way when I'm this side. Line him up. Doesn't burn, mind, this saw. She's still cutting nice. And we'll just take this off here and it looks like we've got another fabulous cut again. Yeah, that's looking lovely. There's the face. There's the back. We've got a tiny little split. So we're just going to pop a little bit of wood glue in there and clamp that up. It looks like it's right through the timber, mind. You can see it there. But we're not too worried about that because what I can do, obviously I'm doing shaker panels. We can either spin this there. That's the face you're going to see. It's looking good. I have got a bit of burn in there. So I might spin it there, but then I got to sand all that out. So we'll have a look. I'll find the best way of laying these and the look that I'm looking for. But you know me by now, I'm not too fussy. I do like all things like that in the timber. And that's what the Makita planer produced. It's not too bad. We've got a slight gap up there. I always show you the little imperfections, but it's not too bad, that planer. So I'm doing all right with that. It's the wrong tool for the job, mind. I know I need a jointer. I have been looking. There's some lovely ones on the market. There's a nice DeWalt one. It's good few grand, mind. So I need to get one of them at some point. So we've got 4 of these cut now. I just need to cut another 4 of them. So I'll go ahead and do these ones now. But I am liking this method, Danny. This is a good method. So everyone use Danny's top tip as well. I like that saw. Yeah, it is a good saw, Danny. I purchased this in 2018. I paid £650 for it. What they call is, they got different versions. You've got a set. It comes with a mitre, an angle finder. I don't really use that, mind, because I do use an older version. It's a mitre protractor I use for finding angles. But yeah, I paid 650 for this saw, and I was looking at them the other day, and they want £850 from now. What's happening to this camera? It's catching a bit of light, it isn't it? It's in my face. So yeah, they've gone up to 850 quid. I was thinking of doing a video to show that the massive increase in Festool gear at the moment, because there's certain machines that's gone right up in price, and there's other Festools that's hardly changed in price. It's gone a bit crazy, haven't it? So we're going to tape this up. Yeah, but this saw is 7-year-old now. She's doing well. I'm very impressed of how long it's lasted me so far. So I'm hoping to get 10 years out of this. I'm hoping for it to last longer, to be honest with you. So we'll go ahead and tape this now and get this bit of oak cut. But she is cutting beautiful, this saw. There's the blade, I will just show you. It's not looking too bad, mind, to be honest with you. There's a tiny little bit on there. I'm not going to touch it because I'm plugged in. But there we go, lovely. Let's go ahead now and cut this one. We just need to skim the edge. I don't think that's as flat. No, it is. It's not too bad. It's not perfectly flat, this piece, mind. I'll probably get caught up in the planer. Yeah, see that? Got a tiny little bit. We'll just show you this cut. That's not looking too bad. We've got a slight wobble in this timber. But that's how you get. See, when you don't own a jointer, you struggle a bit. Alright, for those of you who haven't got yourself a jointer, you will struggle the same as me, Danny will tell you. There we go. We're not looking bad. It is mild tear out, Danny, isn't it? There's virtually nothing on there. I like that. Imperfect wood. Exactly. It's all usable. We got some knots here and there. But I do like that. Nice features here. There we go. I'm a fan of all of that. But the problem is with the market in this day and age, right? People hate this sort of stuff, don't they? Now, if I produce something and said, here we are, Mrs. Jones, here's your new piece of oak furniture, the first thing she would say is, what's that doing on there? I'm not paying you. Because that's what customers are like these days, sadly. They want perfection, but they're not willing to pay for it. And that's all I seem to be finding in my job in this day and age. They all want a perfect job, and I don't want to fork the money out for it. I'll tell you about a job we done years ago. Is when I was working for a guy, he's dead now, mind. We put an oak staircase in. We done all the new posts, spindles, everything, capped everything off. All the stringers down the stairs, we done it all in oak. And it was right at the end of the day. She let us carry on with this job, mind, for the whole week or however long we was there, a couple of days, whatever it was. And right at the end of the job, she said to him, that newel post is a different colour to the newel post on the top of the stairs. I'm not paying you. And she refused to pay him. So he didn't have a penny for that job. He was the sort of man, he didn't argue with them. He didn't try and get his money off them. And he walked away from the job, sadly. And he lost a lot of money. And he was a bit silly, I'm not going to lie. Because we went back to the same house. I don't know why he went back there. And we went to fit a load of oak doors and oak door frames and that. I think because she offered him the money for the stairs, so he decided to take on another job. And then at the end of that then, she basically kicked off. She said that the oak door linings are looking different colours, and she refused to pay for them. So in the end, he got the money for the oak stairs, alright? But we didn't get paid for doing all the oak linings, architraves, skirting boards. It was a massive job, I always remember it. 13 oak doors, and he didn't get paid for that. So, sadly, that's the thing we got to deal with customers. So I don't know if those of you who are watching this video or watch my content and you're starting off, you just got to be careful. So if you're planning to use material, it's always wise, Danny will tell you. Show your customer what material you're using. Actually take it to their house. Let them feel it. Let them look at it. And just explain to them it's a natural product. There is going to be colour variation. There is going to be knots and so on. And they'll get over that then. And always class your job as a custom piece. And that's what I like to say to them. This is custom. This is handmade. Alright? And that's what it's going to look like in the end. And once they respect all that, they're always happy then. And at the end of it, they enjoy it, they like it, and they will pay you. And that's all I find. Honesty is always the best policy. So here's this cut. I know I waffle on a bit, but I've had a lot of experience with customers in the past, alright? I've learned the hard way. I've lost a lot of money myself in this game. I don't know those of you who are actually watching this channel right now has taken a loss in work, but running your own business, I think everyone's got a story to tell about a bad customer. And all you will watch videos online is tradies ruining people's houses, rogue trades and all of this nonsense. There's never been a program about rogue customers, mind, has it? Because there are many of them about. Well, that's not too bad, Danny. Very, very mild tear out, but that's nothing a sander can't sort out. Yeah, I bet you've had a couple as well, because we've all got stories to tell about these. It's common practice, isn't it, rogue customers? But we have a lot of them. We've got a lovely bit of oak by there. I think a customer had proved to this one, because there's not a single knot in there. I have a couple nice. Yeah, it is looking nice. It is lovely oak, Danny. Do you know what, Danny? You probably watched us playing this on a previous live we done. And we are going to get back to finishing the boards as well. I know I got to finish that. So there's another piece. We'll go ahead now and get another one cut. This one's got... There is little marks on here, but I can't feel nothing. It looks like snipe. Can you see that? But it looks like that's an actual roller mark off the planer. I am looking very tired on camera today. I don't know what's going on. That's walking up mountains for you. But there we go. There's this one. Hardly nothing on there. It feels flat anyway, and it looks flat as well. I'll cast your view down there. You tell me. There we go. Can you see? Looking quite... There we are. That's a nice view of it. That's looking nice and straight, that. Right, anyway, let's get on with this cut now. So yeah, I do need to invest in a jointer at some point, obviously because we're struggling a bit with the thicknesser, but I am producing some good material from the thicknesser, so I'm happy with it so far. I am going to stick with that. So let's just go ahead now and cut this one. I'm keeping that knot in play because I like it. Let's just mark that there. Take this one up. Do you know what? I don't even know if I brought a cup of tea in here. I haven't had a cup of tea on this live, have I? Never mind, we'll carry on with this now. Get all these marked up and cut. Keep that nice and square there. Go ahead now and cut this. Everybody like and subscribe, correct. Cherry, do you know what, Danny? Oak is one of my favourite woods to work with. Yeah, Danny, I am a lover of oak. Obviously, you always see oak featured in my on any of my videos. I do love ash as well. I'm a fan of ash. Let me just get this notification off there. I do love ash as well. I do love oak. They're my two favourites. I've never worked with cherry. So I think what I'll do, Danny, now this week, because I'm off work, I think I'll purchase myself a little piece of cherry and we'll have a look at it. What's it like to work with anyway? Just drop it in a comment. But yeah, anyone watching this, don't forget, like Danny said, like and subscribe. This is the way we grow things on channels and that. We're doing all right on the lives now. We do have quite a few people that jump on the lives, and it seems to be my normal videos, mine, Danny. I don't know if you watch my normal videos. All of them have seemed to drop. So I've got to figure out what's going on there. I will be going back to basics on my channel, and that's what we're going to be producing the new content with. But anyway, this is going to be featured on there soon, this week. So we're going to go ahead and cut these. This is going to be nice, this is going to be a little oak shaker stool, and it's going to have a little secret to it. So I hope all that goes to plan and we can get it posted this week then. So there's that cut. They're looking nice. Just to see, we've got this tiny tear out of the back is virtually nothing. Very happy with that. A slight chamfer on there and it'll be gone. Anyway, there's that one. I burn ash, best burning wood. I bet it is. It's an hardwood, see, Danny, innit? I don't know what it is of ash, I just really like it. And I like the fact you get the normal ash and the rippled ash. So when you buy yourself a nice slab, and you got the ripple in the middle. I am a fan of that, because some of those rippled ash, you can mistake it for oak sometimes, I find. Right, just pop that by there. So we got 6 of them cut. One more to do by that, and then we can cut our little styles then, job done. So we're going to take this one up now. Let's have a look at this. It's looking nice, that piece. Looks like we did get caught with a little bit of snipe on there when we was doing it, but you know what? That will be the back. That is my face. So I don't have to worry about that. So I'll go ahead and tape this now. Those who are watching these channels, I think when you see all these people creating these perfect jobs, there's always imperfections in timber. It's just all hidden, that's all it is. All you're not seeing is the trade secrets, and Benny will tell you that. Right, let's just cut this one now. Go ahead and cut this. Have a look at this. I've gone quiet now, everyone. Yeah, some can look like oak. They can, can't they, Danny? Beautiful cut. There we go. There's the face cut. And sorry, we've got light issues in this room, haven't we? I thought I'd set up at a different angle today. See, we're always facing in the other direction, aren't we? Because I needed to set the mic to sew up and everything. I've needed to put a different camera angle in here today. But there we go. Right, let's cut the next one now. I don't know if any of you do this. I've got an habit. I will keep these little blocks. I don't know what I'll use them for, but I just cannot part with pieces of oak, pieces of ash, any piece of hardwood I buy. For some reason, I struggle to throw them out. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but there's always options with resin, isn't there? You can always make something with resin. I need to be making my son a chessboard as well, because he's into chess, but I've got all these things I've got to do in my life. I just haven't got time for it, to be honest with you. But I will get around to doing something like that. Right, so we'll mark this one up now. This is beautiful looking oak, this. It's got a nice colour on it. We did plane these planks down on a previous live. So what we got there? Let me just double check that measurement. That is perfect. Last two cuts on here. I've got to be careful because all of this oak by here I've worked out. I've got the exact amount. So one wrong cut and it's game over for me. I need to get it all planed and everything then. So I just got to be careful. Let's cut this one now. It's nice to be chilled. See, I'm on my week off. I'm in no rush. I'm just relaxing, chilling out, cutting out quietly. All we ever do running a business, it's always one big rush. Get that job in, get that job finished. That's all it ever is. That's all customers do, is pressurize you into finishing things quickly. That's all you ever find in this game. So we got another one cut for there. We're just going to cut this one now. It's looking beautiful as well, so we will use that side. This is the final piece of this rail to cut now, which is nice. Go from that side there. Put a little mark, bit of tape. Let's tape this one up now. What's the volume like on this? Just drop it in a comment there what the volume is like. I don't know if it's loud with the saw running. I don't know if YouTube use noise reduction. I have got microphones I've been using as well, haven't I, recently? But sometimes they can sound a bit odd, and I paid a nice few quid for them, so I'm a bit gutted by that. There's new ones on the market now, innit? These ones they're all using the DJI, so I think I've got to go and buy myself a set of them now. But the thing is, you live and learn. You buy these items, they're not good, you chuck them in the bin. Right, just go ahead and cut this one now. I think a lot of people are having problems, aren't they, with the big, good sound, lovely Denny, thanks for the comment. A lot of people are having problems, aren't they, with the big Capex, so I think the armatures are going on them or something, weren't they? There's the armatures going on there, but I haven't had a problem with this saw yet. There we go, and trust me, I've done a lot of cutting with this saw, I've cut all day on it. But yeah, it is a good saw. So let's go ahead now and cut some of these. We've got to be careful on one of these because this timber has got a bow. I think I showed you this earlier. It is dangerous on a miter saw cutting bow timber, but you can get away with it if you're cutting off the end. So I'm just gonna, I might do a relief cut halfway up by here because I don't want it kicking back up there. Or what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stand it up like that and chop it so it's nice and safe. So I'm just going to go ahead now and take the edge off this as well. No, we won't. We're just going to cut barber there. That's what we're going to cut them so it's nice and safe. I'm trying to keep some of this oak, so let's double check my measurement first because that mark could be wrong on the timber. 240. That's a 240. So let's just be careful. Chop that up there. So yeah, for those of you watching this, if you put that on a miter saw, alright, like so, and it's got a gap under there, and you're pushing down, the timber's going to bite, the saw can kick, it can fire the material. Trust me, it's happened to me before. So I'm always checking which way they are. You could go ahead and cut it that way, alright, so you've got the bow going up, not so bad. But if you face it that way round, with a bow like this, it can pinch and fire in your face. And I will say something, this saw, with the way the blade works, I've had loads fly off in all different directions. This, I don't know if any of you got this saw, drop it in the comments below to say, because trust me, it's happened to me. So I'll always have the bow facing out that way as well if I'm cutting. That's always another safe way of doing it. I'll just pop that one aside. I'm obviously cutting slower because I'm on video. I'm normally a hell of a lot quicker than this. So we'll just tape these up now. That's not a bad piece. That's looking too... I think we've got a slight bow in there, but I only want 240mm of this one. But like I said, if I think these ain't going to sit nice on my panels, I'll put them in my steamer, my makeshift steamer, and I'll leave them in there a good couple of hours. And then we'll go ahead down and we'll clamp them, and then hopefully they'll straighten out. I've done it before with oak, and it should work on these, but these are thick pieces of oak, so they might have to go in for a while. I have a double bevel DeWalt 12-inch. I used to have that one years ago, Denny, that, so it's 20 years old and still kicking. I have other miter saws for cutting junk. I think that's why it cuts so smoothly and good blades. Yeah, there we are. Denny, I owned that 12-inch DeWalt years ago. It was about 17 years ago I had that saw. And I worked for a kitchen fitter. Not very long. I worked for him for about a month. And he wasn't paying my wages. And my father said, I'll tell you what we'll do now. We'll trick him, he said, Mark. And he said, oh, I want to buy my son that big miter saw you're not using. You said you're not using it. Can you drop it off to the house and I'll give you the money, my father said. So he comes up to the house, bearing in mind he hadn't paid me for a month now. And he dropped the miter saw to my father. And my father said, oh, I'll give you the money next week for the miter saw. And then he didn't give him the money, obviously. And then I kept contacting this guy. Where's my wages? Where's my wages? He kept saying, oh, I'll sort you out next week. I'll sort you out next week. So what had happened is he didn't pester my father then for the money for the saw because he owed me a month's wages. I never had the wages off him in the end. I worked for him for a whole month, put a load of kitchens in, and never got paid for it. But I did have the 12 inch, the double DeWalt. It is a massive saw, Denny, and it's heavy, innit, if I remember right. It weighs in at about 30k, doesn't it? Is that the right saw we're talking about? Because I used to own that one. But anyway, I didn't need a 12-inch saw. It was too big for my needs, I'm not going to lie. And basically, I swapped it with a mate of mine about 5 years after I owned that. And I had a little DeWalt off him, and I think I've got the little DeWalt. I think when you press this on the little DeWalt, the guard comes up. And it is really heavy to press. I don't know if you've used that one, Denny, but it's a nightmare of a saw to use. I hated it. And you really had to grip this and pull really hard and then press down on the saw to operate it. It weren't for me. Some of you probably watching this will say you love that saw, but that saw was not for me. But yeah, I have owned that DeWalt, Denny. And then when I started off, what did I have then? I had an Hitachi saw. That was all right. Smart, yes. I had an Hitachi saw. Then I started earning a few quid. I only had the Hitachi saw then. Yeah, I started earning a few quid. And then I bought the Festool. And then I wanted a cordless saw, so I've invested in the Milwaukee for that. So yeah, that's my miter saw story. But I'm hoping this is going to do another 7 years. We will see. We've got 8 of these to cut now. Once we cut these 8, we are good to go. There we go. I went in a bit too quick then, so we got a little bit of tear out on there. So I'll keep that side because that's my better side. And we'll go ahead and cut these. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to stop this live a sec, because obviously I said to you earlier I got to do a little bit of extra filming, haven't I, for this new video. So if I don't go ahead and do that, we're never going to have no content, alright? So I'm going to have myself a cup of tea, and I will see you all later.